Good morning everyone, how's it going? So, I've slept well, I've rested well, I've eaten well, I've drunk well, it's been a good night. And today is lovely clear blue sky. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but take my word for it, it is. Yesterday was like really overcast, headwind all the way. I wasn't in a positive frame of mind either. It was pretty tough work, but today is a completely new day. Looking forward to hitting the road. There's about 100 kilometers to cycle and I'm heading to a place called Emmersdorf. The destination is another campsite and hopefully the ground is all flat. I will give you some videos from the road as I have now charged my GoPro, and that's all I've got to say for now. So I will speak to you in a bit and show you some vids of the River Danube and probably lots of other cyclists, as there appears to be quite a few on this stretch of road. Speak to you in a bit. Before I go straight into the commentary, probably best to explain a couple of things. I'm cycling along the River Danube route and it's a very popular cycling path, which means the campsites I'm stopping at are quite busy. I do the voiceover in the tent in the campsites, which means if you can hear anyone running around in the background or shouting or whatever, it's other people in the campground. And obviously at the same time people are probably wondering, why is this guy talking to himself in his tent? But do we care? No, I certainly don't. Anyway, onto the River Danube trail itself. The trail follows Eurovelo Route 6, and this is the most realised Eurovelo route. There's a number of them that stretch through Europe. Some take coastal routes, some are on pilgrimage tracks, and this one follows the River Danube. As such, it uses a combination of different paths. There are some purpose-built cycle paths, which are great. There are quiet country lanes, and there are service roads. And it keeps you away from the traffic, and it makes the ride all the more pleasant. Obviously you've got the River Danube as company for most of the way as well, and the route itself crisscrosses over, so you can be on one side of the river for 10 kilometres, then cross over to the other side and be on the other side of the river. So while you're cycling by the coast, it's very easy because you just keep the seat to the right, for example, and you know you're going in the right direction. And this morning I turned a bend and crossed the river, and it really did feel like I was going backwards on myself, and I had to stop and just double check the sat-nav, but it's not that complicated. The route is really well signposted, and I'll show you a little bit later on some of the signposts that are there. So as I said, it's a very popular route. I think I have got some video of some cyclists a little bit later on, and I really should get some more, but there are literally cyclists every 5 or 10 minutes. And some of these people are camping like I am, some are just going from guest house to guest house, and some are even on organised tours. At the campsite here there's a minivan turned up and some people are on an organised tour, so the van takes their tents and everything, and the guys just cycle through the day, and then the tents are set up and waiting for them at night. That sounds pretty good actually. Maybe I'll try that one day, who knows. So, the day cycle itself, lovely weather, and is much better than the previous day. There was no headwind at all, and it was just nice just to push along, kind of averaging about 17 kilometres an hour all told. And yeah, it's very nice scenery and just very chilled and relaxed. And I think at this point I started to realise that every pedal I take is actually bringing me towards the end of the trip now. So yeah, there we go. There's one of the signposts, so it's pretty clear. Doesn't matter which direction you're coming from, it points you in the way. And the signposts just appear at a junction, so they're not all the while. If you're on a straight stretch of road which is 20 kilometres long, you might not see a signpost for 20 kilometres, but when there's a junction or something obvious where you might need to turn, it does let you know where you are. So although I've got the route planned on my sat-nav, I'm not really following it, and I actually prefer the signposted route. For anyone that's followed my blogs before, or any of my trips, you may be aware that I cycled some of this route about 10 years ago when I cycled from England to South Africa. And today I started recognising one or two sections. Now I know something like that should really stand out in your mind, but I've cycled in so many places that, yeah, it's just beyond me. Anyway, across the river there's a hydroelectric dam. And I think the height difference between the two areas is about 10 or 15 metres, which isn't that much. But yeah, I thought I'd have a little look and see how it works. And basically the water thunders down one part, which is there. It goes through a turbine, and then it goes out the other side. And I'm not sure how much power it generates, but it's quite interesting to see that. Nice to see nature being harnessed. And I guess that it's a way of also controlling the water level on the Danube, because it must flood when there's been heavy rains. So yeah, that was very interesting to watch and see. So I didn't make Emmersdorf in the end. I stopped at a place called Krems, and it's another campsite. It's averaging €14. And that's about all I've got to say for now, really. Tomorrow's another day, and I'll do another 80 kilometres, 100 kilometres, and see where I end up. Thanks very much for watching, and cheers for now.